today on the Ian Academy podcast.
Okay.
Click that like, subscribe button. Make sure you follow, turn your notifications on. Do they whisper though, or like do they?
No, I mean, I thought that was pretty good. That's funny. The cash drawer or the cash register makes me think of Pink Floyd's Money, the song. I don't know if you're familiar. It's off of Dark Side of the Moon, which I mean sold like 35 million copies or something.
Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
That's exactly how it sounds. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Heat Academy podcast episode 6, live and direct with Big Lane. How you doing, man?
Doing great, but shout out to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Hey, shout out to him.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out
We
to
almost
y'all.
did the fusion.
Hey, who y'all? Shout out to the dads out there. We still celebrating Father's Day.
As we should.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, everyone.
Everybody can get it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
What episode is this?
6,
Ooh, but it's really like
20.
they'll come out soon. One day.
We have lost files. They're good. We probably will bring some of the things that we used during the lost files back because nobody ever saw it.
It's lost for a reason. Some of
Yeah.
them. Some of them are way too lost in the sauce.
I think the last pod that we did when the entire store was completely empty
Yeah,
and we're right in front of the window,
yeah.
I thought we were cooking, dude.
I think we were cooking. It
I
was like
thought
a 3-hour podcast or
Yeah.
something like that. But it didn't come out, and that's okay because sometimes.
I mean, we got in our bag, dude. We went across the board. I thought it was entertaining. I enjoyed the. Have you ever walked away from a conversation and was like, dude, that was a good hangout. That was a good conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just reading something about this the other day that the art of hangout, like the hangout is gone.
For sure.
Like we hanging out. If you hanging out in Discord, you hanging out in Microsoft Teams. If you just stuck in the office all day,
Yeah.
you hanging out not
Digitally. Yeah.
And that's one of the weirdest things about like, dude, when I started my office job, and shout out to y'all boys in the office if y'all listening.
The office baddie.
Yeah, they don't. Hey, that's
Oh,
me, I
oops.
guess. We have meetings, right? And we have meetings with probably like 20 something people. About 15 of those people are in the room with me, and we just all stare at the cameras, right? And nobody like meets in person. Nobody does anything. It's very antisocial.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
That's weird.
But it's like, I get it. We got people like across the board or across borders and different states and whatever. But it's still like, I'm right here.
Oh, so y'all got people like in other states and everything.
Yeah. Some of the
Okay.
people are out there.
Do y'all have like other offices or is that just like field personnel?
So we've got like, I think technically like 3 or 4 offices, but those are all local, you know?
Yeah.
But the other ones are just like, work from home type, different states and whatnot. So yeah. But shout out to y'all.
I remember whenever during COVID 2020, I was doing the hospice work and everything was shut down. Nursing homes, hospitals, and everything. So we did a lot of phone calls. Televisits is what they called it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would have our meetings over Zoom. And I was always out of frame, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was never in frame because from my perspective, it looked good.
Yeah.
But from everybody else's, like you would just see the top of my head or like my chest or something. It was terrible. It was funny.
If I was around at the time, I could have set you up.
Dude, I would have been like putting pressure on everybody.
Yeah.
My Zoom would have been fire.
It would have been in here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You'd have been. How does that work? Like, how do you do hospice over Zoom? Like, is there like a little robot they drop off and it like drives around and go visit people?
Well, during that time, because all the facilities were shut down.
Yeah.
Really it was just making phone calls to the family members. And what's wild is like I ended up developing relationships with people that I've never seen in person. And I mean, we're having some of the most serious, sincere, personal conversations because we're talking about their loved one who is at end of life. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. We had lighthearted conversation and we laughed and we cried and everything and all of the above. But it's very interesting to think, I talked to this person every week for like 3 months, but never saw them, you know?
So no video, or just
They had, they had that option,
yeah,
but you also got to keep in mind a lot of these people are elderly,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so the tech sometimes uh, wouldn't serve them well or wouldn't know how to operate it. But then once they let us start going back into facilities and homes and stuff, we got back to some form of normalcy.
Yeah, I like to picture you riding around in like a Pope Mobile like type box or something like that, going to visit all the patients,
Dude.
or like HVAC, or not a HVAC vest. What you call that?
Oh man. Back in the day,
Whatever you want to call them. Yeah,
like in the thick of it, like whenever COVID was first introduced and like nobody really knew what it would do,
you're right.
full bodysuits, man.
That
I
is.
mean, like people were literally going into homes and stuff, full bodysuits. And look, I mean, people were erring on the side of caution, you know. Here's a relatively new disease that we don't entirely know what the impact is going to be. So, specifically with me, I remember watching some of the resellers cooking during 2020, right? Because like supply chains were broken and there wasn't a whole lot of shoes going around. That's insane.
This is the
Dude,
time.
the filter time was wild. Like the face mask era was crazy.
This dude has a diaper, or is this a? You know what? Let's just get away from it. This is some draws.
Hey man.
What the milk jug?
Like they had some people that were super creative, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dude. The dude with the just the this. He's got it figured out. This dude with the bag on his face.
The truth of the matter is, like, if it's not an N95 mask, forget about it.
Yeah,
I mean, like the N95 is the only thing that provided some form of protection. Those just little bitty dust masks type of deal. I mean, that wasn't preventing anything. That's funny, man.
hold on. This is I don't know where we're at. The Economic Times of India. We
Wow.
deep in it. The water tank
Hey,
mask.
I had Indian food today for lunch,
Was
man.
it good?
Dude, my daughter made it.
Oh,
Butter chicken,
yeah.
freaking restaurant level, dude.
Really?
Delicious. It was spicy. It had cinnamon hits in it. The curry was insane. Like it was super delicious, actually.
Mess with the curry heavy. All right, I got
Dude,
it.
I love Indian food, man.
Yeah,
I love Indian people, man.
I love anything. I love
Yeah.
any food. I don't care. Unless
Indian
it's a
food's
weird
awesome.
texture. Yeah, Indian food's super nice. We getting hit with these AI master classes ads. Hold
Uh,
on, I want to ask you.
we should join a master class, man.
With this Bad Bunny, whatever this is brand.
Is that neighborhood?
No, I think that's the bad. It's bad. It's not Bad Bunny, but it's something like that. I see it all the time, and they make like some expensive polos, and they're all super ugly. If y'all know what that brand is, let me know,
I'm
because I've
not
always
familiar.
wondered like what it is and why do like people that want to have like show their little bit of money wear it.
Yeah.
It's always like these bright pink polos or bright green, and it looks like Miami, but not in a good way. It looks
Mm,
very cartoonish. But yeah, shout out to the COVID times. I kind of miss them. Not
man.
the bad parts, but like all the
Sure.
time and the deep and the thought and like so it was nice to just feel like you were a kid again, and you were on summer break for a good little while until the money started disappearing
Oh
and things
man.
got tight, and that was a stressful time.
Yeah.
That was one of like my deep, dark, depressive last big episodes where it was like, all right, I need to do something. I can't wallow in my depression anymore because I guess the walls were closing in. I would
Gotcha.
say it's a tough time, but we made it.
Yeah,
So
for
shout out
sure,
to
man.
me for that. Shout out to you for that. Get a round of applause. Shout out to everybody who made it.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all that didn't make it.
RIP, of course. I had actually a good friend that passed away from COVID.
Okay, hold on.
No, it's not to be like somber or nothing. But
Bring it
like
down.
it was a real thing that did impact some people. So of course, if there's anyone who did lose a loved one, man, May they rest in peace, of course.
R.I.P. And if you vaccinated, leave it in the comments.
To the big vax.
Big vax, vax
I'm not
squad.
vaccinated.
Know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Gotta stay away.
I'll get you one of them bummy masks, one of them
The what?
thin joints,
Oh yeah,
them
dude.
little dust
I was
masks.
definitely wearing a mask at work because I was working in a restaurant that won't be named during COVID, and it was like corporate, like lockdown, whatever, shut down. And I would drink through my mask. It was like a
That's
neoprene
crazy.
style, like what you call it?
All the germs that are on the face of the
Yeah,
mask are now
go
in your
into,
mouth.
but it was like a filter, you know. I would drink
Okay.
Coke through it just to like be stupid. It was like a morph suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, is not doing anything,
No.
but it worked. I guess. I don't know. I didn't get sick.
I think during that time period,
It's a lot of theater.
a ton of theater
Yeah.
on every side,
Eh,
on every
I'm not
side.
even making it political. It's just people.
But I think like science got broken
Yeah.
during COVID, man,
Oh,
because it was the whole trust the science. But then retrospectively, years later, you realize, hey, you were wrong about this, this, and this,
yeah.
and it's kind of crazy. So the truth is always somewhere in the
In the
middle,
middle. Yeah.
somewhere in the middle.
I feel
So
like that time did probably way worse for like scientific method and actually trusting in science than anything else because
for sure,
we got to the point where we're like, who do we trust? We're supposed to trust the doctors, the scientists, the people, and then you like start realizing that it's a big money plays involved and things like that, and it's just like, okay, now I don't trust my doctor. Who do you trust? Trust the random like person on the internet, and it's a scary thought, but it's also a time where people woke up and stopped trusting the news as much because they realized, the news is just here to make money. Everything's a business, blah blah blah, and it really, I feel like, gave the birth to new media, and
yeah, for sure.
it gave birth to
Or
all
just
the,
was on a rocket, bro. Just
for sure, for
launched that
sure,
thing
it
for
gave
sure.
birth to all the white dudes with beards making podcasts all of a sudden. So shout out to us, I guess. Uh-huh.
Pods, man.
Yeah, the pods.
I wanted to do a pod probably about 8 years ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And I'm glad I didn't,
Yeah,
because number one, visually and from an audio perspective, it would have been terrible.
right. Yeah.
But then also like where I was at in
Hmm.
my life and who I was at that time, I just, I'm glad that there's no evidence of that. I wasn't doing
Yeah.
anything crazy,
But
but like my perspective was much different than it is now. So I'm glad that that didn't happen.
yeah, I definitely like say the same thing. Like even even though mine was kind of a transformative during a transformative period, it was still like my thoughts and ideas are always going to be developing. But
Sure.
I look back at it now, and it's only but like 4 or 5 years ago, I guess, somewhere in there, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't think at all like that anymore.
Mm.
But I'm kind of glad it's there because it's a timestamp,
Yeah.
Like one day I'll look back at that and be like, well, you're an idiot, but you have it on record. It's like a journal, I guess,
Yeah.
and it'll be hidden enough to where like no one can see it. Hmm.
Man, I think we should give everybody grace
Yeah,
to grow and mature.
that's the whole point of this thing. I think
You know?
if I'm not growing, learning, and discovering new things as I get older, I don't want to get older. Like I
Mm.
never want to plateau. Like every day, you know how the people say like you learn something new every day. Well, like I feel like I learn many things new every day, and if I don't, I get bored.
Yeah.
Like if you're not like constantly slowly improving, like for me personally, I feel like I'm stuck in that rut. I'm depressed and I'm just not happy. Like what's the point of life then? You're just paying your bills and making money
Kind
to
of just
spend in
existing.
it, existing, right? And it's not like you have to do something amazing and add to society and blah 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 blah, but like slow and constant self-betterment is what I strive for. There's days where like you're going to go down and you're not going to do anything useful or great or learn anything new, but it's like it's nice to those days sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, the downside of that is where I have to show myself, like, and tell myself that it's okay to have a lazy day.
Mm.
Because sometimes I feel guilty about that.
You'll be hard on yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, man, you sat around and just watch YouTube all day
Yeah.
long. You went into a rabbit hole learning about quantum physics and stupid stuff that has no use to your life. What'd you do?
That's what I did for Father's Day.
Yeah.
I watched Pawn Stars for like 8 hours.
Were you a Pawn Stars guy or were you an American Pickers guy?
Both.
Okay, what was better?
I probably lean towards Pawn Stars.
That's what I'm talking about
Yeah.
right there. Yeah, 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 yeah.
In RIP to Frank, man, of
Right.
American Pickers, man. He passed away like a year or two ago.
That was the shorter, like kind of
Yeah.
rounder one. Okay, yeah, and then R.I.P.
Yeah. American Pickers was a good show.
It was for sure. He loved
Educational.
what he loved, oil cans, huh?
Yeah, man.
That was his thing.
Little things.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know?
And
But Pawn Stars is classic for sure.
old man, what's his name? Old
Just
man,
know him as the old man.
old man from Pawn Stars passed
Yeah.
away too. What about Storage Wars with my boy? Yup,
Oh, yeah.
yup.
Man.
I need a Yup hat. If somebody knows where to get a Yup hat, he pulled up with the Yup truck one day and he had the Yup hat on.
He had
Find
that.
me, link me.
Dude, you know what's crazy? I was literally thinking about Storage Wars
Yeah,
like 2 days ago. So he had the Yup stuff,
yeah, yeah.
but the other guy with it was him and his wife. He had his own merch, like some outlaw thing, and it was very kind of like tap out, like affliction-esque.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
like, could you imagine walking into like Walmart or something and seeing somebody have that dude's merch on? That'd be kind of gas.
That's hard. It's
That's crazy.
Self-branding. Those dudes were like pretty smart. They were definitely like pushing themselves as brands, I feel like.
Yeah.
Along with the show.
For sure.
Do you think any of that stuff was real?
We know some of it was.
Yeah.
And we know some of it was set up.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude,
Do they do that for real? Like though?
what's that?
Like
Oh, like
auction.
actually bidding?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think some of them were like legitimate buyers and whatever you would call that profession.
We need to go to one.
Oh, that'd be dude, we'll bring the mic.
Yeah.
The handheld.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be in the back. Yup.
For sure.
Until he passes like $50. I'm gonna be like, nope.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend a bunch of money. Like I'm gonna end up with somebody's mothball like trench coat collection or something like that. It'd be, I don't know.
We should go out to one and try to win a storage unit and just see what's in it. Document it.
Yeah, in
That'd be
here
fun.
in town, or would you go somewhere else?
I mean, just for convenience sake out
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
you know?
What's the limit you would be willing to spend?
So this is a unit that we're able to like peek into.
Okay, that's true. That is true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, depending on what I see,
Yeah.
you know,
For me, like it would be $50.
yeah,
I'd be okay with losing $50 for content. Past that, I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's like detergent and cat food and toilet paper for the month. I don't
Hey,
know.
you might be able to use the cat food.
What you mean? No, I'm talking about like that's like my spending budget for
Oh,
detergent. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like all this stuff for the month.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd hate to buy something and like just, and then you're stuck with it.
yeah.
I don't have anywhere to put that. My storage unit's already full.
Man, you know what I learned while kind of vegging out on Pawn Stars for 8 hours on Father's Day?
What's that?
I actually learned some things that I'm going to implement in like my buying and selling and stuff.
Okay.
So, like, I did have some points of education and inspiration, but I never knew this. So they have Pawn After Dark. It's their podcast. It's
Yeah.
Rick and Chum Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Pawn Stars has been around for 16 years, I think they said. For 14 of those years, there's actually, so Rick basically kind of owns the entire block that he's on in Vegas,
Okay.
like all the buildings and stuff. Well, behind the original pawn shop was this big warehouse that they transformed to mimic the pawn shop.
Mm-hmm.
And they did all their filming back there for 14 years, dude.
What? So it
So-
wasn't even the real spot.
Well, what they would do is they would actually have people come in and sell real things to them. And then they started filling it out with real product. And the people that you would see in there were actual customers. The problem that they were having was while they're filming, sometimes they would have to shut down the pawn shop while they're filming. So they would have a line down the block of people waiting to get in the Las Vegas summer. It's hot. So the way that they troubleshooted that situation was they're like, well, look, people are really coming in and selling us stuff. People are really coming in to buy stuff. Instead of shutting down our actual shop, let's extend it. And this part will just be for filming. It's smart.
Yeah.
But I did not know that that's what they did.
So they just had it like, I guess, the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense because like, there's people like walking around it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like those are all actors or
No.
no?
What they would do is like they would say, "Hey, look, guys, we're going to film an episode.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back here, look at the stuff that we have back here, possibly be on camera, blah blah blah." So that's how they would do it.
Now what about hardcore pawn?
Didn't watch enough of it to
Y-
speak on it.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
was like in Detroit, and they were trying to be like the tough and the rough
Yeah.
and it was like I felt like all of that was fake because they would be like people coming in selling like fake jewelry, and then like they had the big security guards, and it was more like the drama instead of like the history, because that
Yeah.
was the cool thing about Pawn Stars.
Oh man. Yeah.
And they had a
The
couple
knowledge is
yeah,
crazy.
they had a couple sneaker episodes here and
Yeah.
there. Like I remember, I don't know if Chum Lee was actually like on that,
Oh
or
no,
like
for
they
real.
fed him,
No.
the information, because like he was trying to buy like entire dunk collections back in like 20, probably
Yeah.
like 2011, 2010, stuff like that, and like collections worth like $1 million.
Yep.
So then if they would have held on to that, it would have been worth a lot. But
No, Chum Lee is like bona fide, bro.
okay,
He's a for real sneakerhead. Like he legitimately knows, legitimately loves it. And the collection that they were trying to purchase was actually it's a super great follow on Instagram. It's called Shoeseum. So he was actually getting ready to sell his entire collection, but he didn't. And he has, man, I mean, the history that this guy has is insane. And I mean, he has stuff that like he has original waffle shoes that Bill Bowerman made.
wow,
Like Bill Bowerman himself made the soul type
yeah,
of thing. Um and what's crazy is at the time, had they purchased that collection, just a few years later, just the dunks alone skyrocketed. So they would have hit a lick for sure. And anytime you have a big transaction, like a big shoe transaction,
mm-hmm,
it's a little give and take. You know, if you're purchasing a bulk amount of shoes, um, you know, it kind of you go off of like an average cost of per shoe type of thing.
gotcha.
So for some, you know, the average is going to be a little more than what they're worth, but then you're going to have those ones where it's like that average is way less than what it's worth, and that way both people kind of win in the transaction.
Okay,
Um, and then also there is a discount to saying, "Hey, I'm willing to put up $800,000 for your collection. Like, I'm not going to buy it at market price. Like, I would expect some type of like bulk discount, right?" Um, but that's what's interesting about like big sales. Uh, and the move right now for a lot of resellers is volume as opposed to margin.
okay,
So like a lot of the really, really big resellers in the country and in the world, I'm not talking about like people who have resale shops.
yeah,
I'm talking about like wholesalers, bulk sellers, these guys who have warehouses and they're turning, you know, 20,000 pairs, 50,000 pairs a year type
margins
of
are
thing.
smaller, I'm
Yeah.
assuming right now, so like that would be the main reason why.
Yeah.
So we just move more of it.
Like I was watching a guy and it encouraged me because he was like, he pushes a lot of product, but he was talking about a particular shoe and he was like, yeah, man, if I made $15 on this shoe, I'd be over the moon. I'd be excited. And I'm like, dude, that's wild to think about.
I mean, if you're selling
But if you're
a couple
selling
thousand,
1,500 of them,
yeah,
yeah,
then you're making good money then.
for sure.
What about
It's a lot of work though, man.
yeah? Speaking of that, would you be like? I feel like they could call you to be an expert to come on one of those shows. Like, when they call in the
Yeah.
expert. Remember they called in Yeezy Buster?
Call in a friend. Oh yeah, man.
What a time Yeezy Buster was, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone started hating that dude.
Then he got busted
Yeezy Buster got busted.
on full size run, I think.
Was it? Oh, they tested
Yeah.
him. Yeah,
And he was wrong.
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to
Brendan Dunn.
Brendan Dunn. I almost said RIP, but no.
Yeah,
Full size run RIP.
for sure.
Let's see what that happens. That's one of my like. If y'all watch, y'all might pick up that. That's one of my favorite podcasts from even way back. Like regardless of shoes, regardless of anything, just the way it's edited, the quickness of it, the fastness. Love that show, and just the three people that shouldn't be hanging out in a room together to have contrasting aesthetics and opinions, just all working out. I love that.
The editing is very sharp, very witty, very cheeky.
Yeah,
You know, Brendan Dunn leaving Complex after 11 years is wild. I'm interested to see what he where he goes and what he does. And I don't even know how that the Complex podcast is going to be now, because the dynamic of Welty, Joe LaPuma, and Brendan Dunn, it was good. So, and I think like Joe LaPuma and Welty
yeah,
can stand alone. Like they're knowledgeable, they know what they're doing. But like sometimes it's like whenever you have that big three or you have that chemistry
for sure.
and you change it, like with Everyday Struggle back in the day
Oh,
when Budden
we're
left.
in the bag now.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
we getting there.
yeah. Whenever Budden left, man, the whole
Bro,
dynamic
they
changed.
brought Star, Wayno. They tried to make it
Yeah.
happen, but it wasn't the same.
Wayno has a podcast, man.
Oh, does he?
I've been watching it.
It's good.
It's pretty good. It's him sitting down. He has a set, and I'm sure he's interviewed people because like he's been around. He's been in the industry and he knows a lot of people. But the only episodes that I've seen was just him, ISO.
Yeah,
And I mean, look, he's entertaining, he's knowledgeable,
yeah.
so he has something to say. And it just made me think about whenever he was on Everyday Struggle. I didn't prefer Star. I know he's a legend.
They were trying to make that Joe like energy happen,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you can't.
Joe's the GOAT. He's crazy, but he's the GOAT. You know what
I
I'm
know
saying?
two Joes that do podcasts, and they both great. I watch them both.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's your podcast like run spectrum look like? Like I'm a big Lex Fridman guy.
I like Lex.
Yeah, Rogan of course, Budden, and then everything else. Like I catch some random things here and there, but that's like my top three for sure
Yeah.
right now.
Honestly, man, I haven't been watching a lot of podcasts. I've been watching a lot of like reactions
Okay.
or like kind of in-depth documentary type of stuff,
Mm.
like educational pieces on like a wide range of
Yeah.
things. But if I do watch pods, I do like Lex. I mean, Joe Rogan's goated, Budden's goated. I'm interested in podcasts that talk about business and entrepreneurship.
Uh-huh.
I like a lot of sports related things too.
Okay.
Obviously, some sneaker stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But to tell you the truth, what's funny is like if you went and looked at my IG and who I follow, it's not a ton of sneaker stuff. It's a whole bunch of other things.
You want to get out the world you work and live in. So
Yeah.
I get it. It's like I work in the golf industry and I'm not constantly surrounded by like golf stuff. If anything, like since I joined, like I play less now.
Mm.
Well, not if
That's
anything,
wild.
definitely. I definitely play way less. It's just I leave work at work.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it.
Man, talking about sneakers,
There you go.
what do you have on foot, man?
What are these? The Cardinal Red threes?
Cardinals, yeah.
Cardinal Red with Curry, I think, is the little hit that they got in the little, what do you call them? The eyelets?
I believe that is the Jumpman.
And the Jumpman. Is he on there?
Yep.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Yeah, good. I like this shoe. It's got the satin insole or sock liner on it, kind of like that they do in a lot of women's. And
Yeah.
it's comfortable to get in and get out of. This is a good three to me. It's a lot better than like what they do now with the this is the diffused blues, and they keep like putting the same colorway out.
Yeah.
This is like Jordan's UNC shorts he used to wear, but then like
The Lucky Shorts.
yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a UNC colorway, but we're not gonna say it's the UNC colorway. Like this is towards the end when he kept wearing his shorts a lot, and so they're a little diffused now, that color.
Yeah.
So that's the story behind the diffused blues.
Look, man, not every shoe needs a tie-in and a story.
Yeah.
Sometimes just throw a good, a lot of shoes that became very legendary did not have a story behind them or like a nickname.
Okay.
It was a colorway and somebody did something extraordinary in it, which became the story. Like the flu game was never the flu game to begin with.
Right.
It became the flu game because of that game. Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
And so sometimes like it is nice to have those shoes that have the stories and the tie-ins. But when you start getting so into the crates and the vault of This is the Lucky Shorts joints. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
It's a good looking shoe, and the leather quality is fine, and the colorway is wearable. But it's like we don't need all that, in
Yeah.
my opinion,
Yeah, yeah.
for something like that.
I'm curious to go into that in a second, but I want to know what in the world you have on. There's some crazy ACG
Dude,
things.
yeah. So this is the ACG Armada. It originally came out in 1994. I had a pair in 1994. Me and the homies, we pulled up to the Acadiana Mall.
Hmm.
We would save up our allowances, and there was like three or four things that we would purchase.
Yeah.
We would get like Metallica shirts or like Massimo shirts, Structure, that type of thing, music,
Hmm.
and sneakers, man.
That's it.
So I was always into shoes, and I remember I got one of the original colorways. In this pair, I actually got from Sneaker Politics, man.
Hey.
And it's a wild colorway. It's very loud. Most of the colorways are not like this. They're more earth tone
Yeah, yeah.
type of deal because ACG is like all conditions gear.
Hmm.
It's supposed to be like a hiking outdoors thing. And I waited since 1994 for this to come out. They finally dropped like 28 years later or something like that. Or yeah, almost that.
Wow.
And I bought, I think, like 5 of the 8 colorways. There's
Wow.
only 3 colorways I don't have. And dude, whenever I say this shoe it's phenomenal, man. You can legitimately just wear it. You get it dirty, wipe it down, you're good. The triple black pair is super good.
It reminds me
And
of those old like sleeping bags from back in the 90s and 2000s.
yeah,
Windbreakers, stuff like that.
they're cozy. You can go true to size.
Yeah.
They fit true. They're super comfortable. And this is actually the first time that I wear these.
Oh,
I undead stocked them.
on DS for the pod.
Yeah, for the pod.
I feel like ACG kind of not fell off, but people didn't know about it until, especially in modern times. I feel like Yachty was the one that really brought it back. Like he was in his bag, and it was the first person I heard talking about it. Now, like guys like you that have been in it,
Yeah.
like you're probably like, what are you talking about? But that really started doing in the bag and going into like the vault and finding weird sneakers and things like that from that time period.
Yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon because ACG has like a great history and they've made a ton of excellent products. And there's some ACG communities that are super hardcore, man.
Like, so if I said that, they'd be like, "What are you?
Oh yeah,
You're an idiot."
they'll be like, "You're crazy, man."
I mean, whatever.
But no, I mean you're right. Also, though,
Hmm.
it's both. Um, and so I do follow some ACG pages, and they have a lot of good content and stuff. And I mean, you got to think about it. ACG's from early '90s, man. I don't think it's before that. Um, but like they've made a lot of iconic stuff, man. The Moabs,
The late '80s.
yeah, the late '80s.
Okay,
Yeah, what 88, 89?
it just says late '80s.
Okay,
Tinker Hatfield and Peter Fogg.
come on, man.
The foundation
Tinker's
of
the
it.
goat, bro.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it, bro.
Hey.
I mean, dude, the Jordan 11, the Air Max 1, the AirTech Challenge 2, the Jordan 3. I mean, like this dude's catalog is crazy. The Hirachi. Yeah, man.
I miss the Hirachi.
You know what they did, man? They Roshi'd the Hirachi.
Yeah, it was definitely like the nurse like hot girl shoe for a minute.
That
But
CNA joint.
yeah, when I was in,
And never mind.
I'm gonna tell on myself, I guess a little bit. But when I
Shout
was
out to
in,
the CNAs, by the way. Like I work with several, and they're, you know, hardest working discipline in my industry. Anyway,
there
go
you
ahead.
go.
I'm sorry.
When I was in middle school, it was the Nike Freeze. So like the free,
Oh,
all the way
yeah.
up until like I guess the 6.0, and Hirachis were like the shoes. If you had those and you had the G-Shock and you had the Nike Elite socks,
Cooking
you were cooking.
for sure.
I was the emo kid in Vans when no one was wearing Vans at that time, at least in my small little hometown of 2,000 people.
Hmm.
So, but I remember like they were making waves. And then after that, everyone stopped wearing them. And then I felt like, what did you say they were? Then I said the nurses started wearing them. But then, and what's the tall Hirachis called? They're a little bit taller, more of a
Mm,
basketball silhouette, more
yeah, yeah, yeah,
performance.
yeah. That's the
I like those.
Is that the 2K joint?
It's a number.
Kobe Bryant wore it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you
Um,
know, tell me in the comments.
yeah. Hirachi's legendary. Yeah, for sure. Great pair. But that's whenever that was the era where whenever Nike was like, man, we've landed on something that's working.
Yeah.
Let's give them 700 colorways.
Yep.
And then it got to a point to where it's like no longer cool,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to the point to where, like, I think in 21, they retroed the Stussy Hirachi. And it was like the anniversary of that was his first collab that he ever did with Nike was a Hirachi. And great earth tones. I mean, super good shoe. Nobody wanted it because it was it had been years since they had completely killed the model, and look, it's a capitalist for-profit company, so they want to capitalize, and if something's you know making profit, they want to pump that out, but at some point you have to have some level of restraint, or you're going to burn through it, and then you're going to have to wait half a decade or a decade for it to get back into favor because you burned it out. Like Jordan 1s, Air Force 1s, Dunk Lows, they hooked them
Yeah.
from
Absolutely.
2020 to 24. And now people like, there's certain exceptions, like, look, a triple white Air Force 1 Uptowns G Nikes, goated, evergreen shoe, will always be good. The triple blacks, keep your head on a swivel when you see them.
It's classic for
But
sure.
it's classic.
Yeah.
And certain Jordan 1s and certain Dunks are as well, but they just ran through it, and now they've fallen out of favor, and they're trying to reestablish some hype and some energy, and they've restricted the amount of those shoes that they produce now. Too little, too late, though, in my opinion. It's going to take some time. They tried to revitalize in my opinion, their main attempt to revitalize the one this year was the bread.
Yeah.
And mixed emotions. We've talked about that shoe on here. I
You
don't
like it? I love it.
Yeah, I don't think that it landed
No.
the way that they anticipated. And the strategy of like, hey, let me make a real rare, hard to get shoe to try to stimulate the rest of the line and have that kind of Reaganomics trickle down economy type stuff where, oh, you couldn't get this one, but you can get this GR.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can get this shelf sitter. That stuff doesn't work anymore, man. People are off that. And they've kind of cannibalized themselves through the hype machine and the collab machine because they've conditioned people to where it's like, oh, well, if it isn't that, then I don't want it. And it hurts the rest of the line, the rest of the products that aren't special projects or quick strikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I miss the days where the collaborations were cool. We haven't seen a collaboration in a minute. I feel like,
oh man, they're always doing it.
but
man.
like something that like I'm talking like
that's why that's how watered down it is.
Yeah.
We have so many of them. It's like we don't even recognize them anymore. We can't tell the forest from the trees.
I'm talking like
Standout
the days
like
of acronym Prestos or
oh yeah,
Cactus Plant, Flea Market,
Fire.
Vapors, or even like simpler things like Neighborhood was doing some cool NMDs and Bape was doing NMDs and just small, simple. Well, we weren't simple and small, but it's like the fact that I can go on any sneaker store pretty much ever now and get a Travis Scott, is for sub, I don't know, $200 sometimes. Kind of crazy.
yeah.
It's and that's the only collaborator that people care about now. I feel like we've had everybody from Billie Eilish to, I mean, you name it. It wouldn't surprise me if you had a collaboration sneaker, and it's just, you said watered down for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Ambush. What happened there?
Dude, I'm still upset. Number one, shout out to Ambush for sure. Fire. The fact that she kept that Chicago colorway for herself. I respect it because it's like you are the collaborator, man, and this is your friends and family, and that's a flex. But boy, I wish that one came out because that's so good. And I think the ambush dunk high is excellent. The quality leather that they used, the fact that she was able to reconstruct it in a different manner.
Yeah.
Like, dude, look at that.
It wouldn't surprise me
Oh
if
my
they decided to
goodness.
drop this year, to be
Bro,
honest.
that thing is hard,
Let
dude.
me get a good picture of it. Hold on.
So good.
And I love the way she's wearing it too.
Dude, super
The pinroll
stylish, man.
pants. It looks way better in this, like way more wearable in this colorway.
Yeah.
I mean, great design. Design after like the Bosuzoku, all the guys riding motorcycles in Japan and things like that. This is supposed to be the exhaust coming off the back of the bikes, and
Yeah.
just crazy like Marty McFly looking shoe without being Marty McFly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a hard shoe for sure.
Look at the collar, man. Like the construction of the
Oh yeah,
collar. It's
these layers right
crazy, man.
here. I think this is, with the exception. Okay, to me, you've got three crazy Jordan ones, like things that happened to the Jordan one. Uh, J Balvin or Bad Bunny? Is J Balvin or Bad Bunny?
Balvin.
Which one?
Yeah.
Balvin. His like all kind of crazy patterns that he did along the side of it.
Yeah. The rainbow colored joint.
Yeah, but like just the pattern, like
Yeah.
of the cut was like zigzag on the check and on the tongue and everything, or around the mud guard. Virgil, and then
Yeah.
this ambush one is like the only time
Well,
that
it's a
we've
dunk,
seen.
but
Well,
still.
my fault.
No, you're good. You're cooking now.
You know,
Yeah.
this is, oh, it is a dunk high. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Doesn't even look like it anymore. Wow. Okay.
But you're like Virgil, man. They're talking about bringing back the 10. I think next year or 27
Yeah.
because it's going to be the anniversary year. And the 10, man, is incredible. Like Virgil was really Jordan Brand and Nike's saving grace, in my opinion, because in 2014 and 2015, and really kind of 16, Jordan Brand and Nike went down, they dipped, they had a lull. And part of it was the same thing that they're doing now. They were like, you know what, let's get greedy. They promised us reimagined leather,
Yeah.
and they did the whole spiel where they did the white glove presentation of the Oreo 4, the Columbia 4, the Lady Liberty 10, the Bulls Over Broadway 10. And they were like, hey, we're going to increase the box price 15 to 20% because we're giving you better materials now. We heard you loud and clear that you wanted better materials. Here you go. They gave us those releases and the French Blue Sevens. And then after that, they went back to business as usual, but kept that sticker price elevated. And what ended up happening was because they increased the box price 15 to 20%, and they started giving us way more releases and way more pairs per release, classics like True Blue 3s and Black Metallic 5s were sitting on the shelves.
Yeah.
You could just walk in and get them. And Kanye had gone to Adidas, and that Yeezy hype, that NMD, that Ultra Boost hype took place. And it really wasn't until Virgil came through and did the 10, because Virgil was before Travis,
Yeah.
and he really kind of birthed the collab era, you know. And I think Nike learned from Ye in a sense of they prohibited him from doing so many things, and they limited him so much, and they lost him. And Yeezy became a multi-billion-dollar franchise by itself. They were like, we're not going to make that mistake again.
For sure.
So they gave the keys to the kingdom to Virgil and allowed him to do this stuff, and he killed it, man. I've had I think I've had all of them. Maybe except for the is it the Hyperdunk?
Yeah. Hyper dunk top.
Which is super good,
That's
dude.
like
It's a
probably,
sleeper pair.
I was just about to say that might be like the sleeper pair of
Yeah.
all of them. I mean, the Converse is awesome. Presto. I'm a big fan of a lot of the other ones besides the Jordan one. Like,
Yeah.
I really like the Blazer, but I'm a Blazer guy. Even Uh, Yeah, I think the Hyperdunk is the one that's like, and you took that shoe and made it cool. Because to me, that was never
Fire.
a cool shoe.
No. Yeah. I actually had the Blazers, man. I hit whenever they did the release of the 10.
Yeah.
I was in Acadiana Medical Center, AMC in Eunice, and I was walking out. I had just seen one of my patients, and I was walking out to my car. And the way they did the releases were they released these shoes at this time and then these shoes at this time.
Hmm.
And the one that I wanted out of the entire pack was the Blazer because I'm a Blazer guy too,
Another silhouette that they ruined.
for sure.
Just cooked it.
And dude, I hit and I was like, man, I'm gonna wear them and cook them. And then I was like, or I could make $1,000.
Yeah.
So I did.
The fact that that's what they were going for, and they did a few good, like the All Hallows Eve ones.
Yeah.
Was the Reaper
The Reaper.
colorwood?
Yep.
Just all fire, all look great. And then they tried to make the I guess the knockoff off white so many different times with these
The
Blazers.
jumbo swoosh joints.
Yeah,
And
and it's just like, I don't know, man.
it was for the jumbo swoosh Blazer that came out in 21 ish, 22 ish.
Mhm.
I will say that like the first couple colorways were really good. But like it was just it was that time period where it's like we're doing way too much. We're giving you way too much. And I remember talking to store owners at the time and they were like, we've sat down in meetings with the brands
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, all we need is like 3 or 4 good releases a month. Let us sell through that." You know? And because what was happening was there were so many releases that people had to start picking and choosing. You know, before that, people were buying everything. Anything that came out, they're getting it. Boom, 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 boom. And stores were happy because it's like everything sold out, everything sold through. And then whenever they started elevating the price, the quantity of releases and the quantity per release, things started sitting. And those stores, I think at this point right now, stores have, oh man, I don't want to be wrong. I think stores have 50-ish, around 50-ish days to pay back that invoice.
Wow.
So let's say Nike sends you $800,000 worth of shoes.
Yeah.
Bro,
You better move them.
you better move them because you have about 2 months to do it. Yeah. So that's part of another reason why backdoor exists. The brands have put retail spots in a position where it's like, I remember the last conversation that I had with an owner. They had to buy 1.5 bricks per every retro.
Wow.
So you had to buy almost twice the amount of inventory of trash
Yeah.
to get the good stuff. And that's how Nike pimps stores.
Hmm.
And so a lot of times what stores would do to compensate was, well, man, let me make a little extra off of the good things so I can pay this tab,
Right.
you know? And so if,
There was a time that they could do that. Like Nike
Yeah.
could do that because people were buying everything from, kill shots to just anything Nike. Like anything that was mass produced, Nike was on top. And then I really feel like it's probably Adidas took the first chunk, but then even after that, like Nike came back. And then New Balance came kind of out of nowhere and really like put a hurting because Nike just kept milking and milking and milking the same things, and that structure just doesn't make sense anymore. Like, hey, you got to buy all this junk to get the one that people want. Well,
Yeah.
and they're just sitting. Like things are just sitting. Like the fact that like you can go now and well, let's stay on the Blazer. You can get a Blazer for like $60
Oh,
anywhere
yeah.
you want. Like it used to be $120 shoe
yeah,
and a legendary shoe like Mike, Lil Bow Wow, or is it Lil Romeo, whatever one was. I forgot.
Lil
I
Bow
was
Wow.
young.
yeah.
He's got the UNC colorway in the movie, and like he puts on them shoes and he starts balling like Mike, and it's just an awesome shoe that got just destroyed.
Well, look, I do understand and to some degree agree with this philosophy. They believe that certain shoes should just be readily available. Like you should be able to go anywhere and get a G Nike, a Uptown,
Yeah.
a triple white. the 77 Blazer,
Mm-hmm.
the black and white joint, that is one of those shoes where it's like it's an essential. It's
Patrick,
a closet essential.
I signed up for the release of that. I had to wait till it came out.
Come on, man.
When they dropped that one, I had they had dropped three originally. There was a canvas one. It was a sale, full canvas. It was the first one I got, like day it dropped. There was a pink one. There was another that was an all canvas one, and I want to say like maybe the black and white pair. But then that one came out a little bit later, like a month later. And I signed up on a list to be notified. And I got it when it released, and then it sold out. It's a little bit, and I think I've told you this, is a little bit different than the one that's put out now.
Mm.
Instead of saying like just Nike on both tabs, on the back, on the heels, it says like 80, whatever, 87, 85, whatever year it is. What year is it? 77,
Yeah,
77 on
77,
the
I think,
back, and
was
it's
the first
splatter.
year.
The sole is a gum sole instead of being a different. The tag's a little different. That's the same ones I cut the check off of because it looked like everything else.
Yeah.
The leather's a tiny bit better, but then I was the only one with those shoes, and then they just mass pumped out that shoe. I was so mad. And if you're gonna mass pump out shoes, here's what they should do. Give me the Cortez. How long have I been trying to buy a
Oh,
triple white Cortez?
dude.
Like the fact that
Amen.
like my triple white Cortez was like worth 400 five
Yeah.
hundred dollars at one point just because they didn't make it anymore. I bought that shoe at DSW for like $40, $45.
Why did they stop making the triple white, man?
I don't know.
And I mean, it's been years at this point.
It's basically turned into a women's only model at this point. Like they do the colorways for it now, but it's like women only size.
Yeah.
So then it sells out my size really quick because it's 9.5. So it's like towards it's 11 and women's it's kind of
Yeah.
bigger. And then everyone buys above that, and you're just stuck with all the smaller sizes. Give me my white Cortez. Mine are beat, dude.
Yeah.
Cooked.
I had a pair back in the Como high school era, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, triple whites, dude, for sure. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that, like, around my friend group in the 90s, we weren't wearing Air Force Ones. We were
Yeah.
wearing Cortez or Reebok Classics or something like that. I think people should, at some point in their sneaker journey or just in life, period, uh, an all white pair of shell toes, a Reebok Classic, a all white pair of Cortez, all white Uptowns. Like at some point, we should all have at least one of those pairs.
Put the Stan Smiths in there.
Oh, well, you got the shell toe though, man.
Take the shell toe off. You know who ruined the shell toes?
Who's that?
It was when the women went from the Fila disruptors to the shell toe. They went to
Dude.
the Air Force Ones after that. But
Smacked.
when I saw everyone wearing the black leggings with the shell toes, it was just like I can't look at the shoe anymore.
Yeah.
Then they did it. They've done it with so many different things. And what was most recent? Sambas. Yeah, there you go. And it's like I don't get that shoe away. I think that shoe is ugly now.
Look, I want to say two things.
Give me the Stan Smith.
The Disruptors, that's a crazy time.
The Dino Stompers.
Yeah, that's a crazy time. And I will say this, although I do know that Sambas had their time and people are kind of getting burnt out on them, not as severely as we did through the Panda phase, because they really just completely cooked that.
Yeah.
The Samba is so good, so classic. I had that shoe in middle school, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was always a Samba over Gazelle type of person.
The Campus, the Zombas. Those are all great shoes.
Super good, dude.
All those like platform shoes. You can't go wrong with any. I'm glad they're there now.
Yeah.
Because before the Disruptors, it was like the Champion sock shoe that kind of looked like the Balenciaga sock shoe, and it was all those types. And
Champion.
Yeah, I don't know what they did.
Yeah.
Like how did they come up?
Well,
excuse me. The game plan there.
The Champion's been around forever.
Yeah.
And then they disappeared and they had a resurgence again.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've, fell by the wayside again. It's difficult, man. It's difficult to have, especially in fashion, to have a brand that stays consistently good year after year. I mean, a lot of these brands currently, they come and go, man. Like if you're around for 5 years, that's significant. 10 is crazy.
Especially now.
10 plus,
yeah.
Forget about it. Like, I mean, that's why sometimes whenever There's legacy brands like Ralph Lauren Polo. They're always going to be good. And but like they're going to have different peaks of popularity, different time periods where they're really hot now and then they're just kind of like plateaued and people who mess with it and
Yeah.
then they'll have a resurgence again, which I believe a resurgence is coming back, man. I think Polo is going to be on one again. And think about this. God forbid, may God bless him and extend his years. But there's going to come a time where we're going to live in a post Ralph Lauren world, man,
Hmm.
where Ralph's no longer with us. And I hope that it's a long ways away, you know? But like, just think about Ralph Lauren without Ralph being around. Like, the Ralph Lauren that existed while he was with us, and then the Ralph that exists after him. Man, that's crazy to think about, you know? But I do believe that we will see a resurgence of Polo even before all that stuff.
Is he going to be the new Ozempic bear or the big boy bear?
Man, I hope it's the big boy, bro.
Yeah.
That bear collection,
Yeah.
like the tees, the sweaters, all that stuff, so fire, man. So classic.
I don't know why they made him look like the new Chuck E. Cheese rat. Like I'm saying, like skinny boy.
Mhm.
I don't know. They tried to make him cool.
It was on that Ozempic.
The Ozempic bear.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so look, I was right about the indie sleaze stuff coming back. I called that. That's next. So I want to see. I want to see Ralph Lauren coming back
It's
because
happening,
the
man.
next theory I have is the swag era comes back.
Oof,
Yeah.
man. That was a time. You talking tall tees? You talking,
Yeah.
yeah,
Tall tees, flat brim hats. Like, please excuse my YOLO swag. LMFAO era.
man.
Like all that stuff.
Look, if you would have told me 10 years ago that people would have gone crazy for Y2K, I would have told you you're crazy. Because what's funny about that is like that stuff wasn't even that popular back then when it
Right.
first came out.
Yeah.
Like cats that were wearing Affliction and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
it was a certain type of dude, you
Yeah.
know? People who were wearing, and don't get me wrong, I love Jinkos back in the day, but like that wasn't mainstream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I see like Ed Hardy now and like
Fire.
famous stars and straps
Ooh, yeah. I still have a shirt
yeah.
with the Get Money with Ben on the front, Ben Franklin. Oh, yeah, dude. I
Travis
still have that
Barker,
shirt.
man. It's that
Yeah.
boy.
Oh, and my boy Andrew, man. You got that Ed Hardy jacket from me, man. Lambskin, good leather for a steal.
Mm.
I mean, this thing, the price that he got it for, I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Andrew came through and constantly supported us. So, I mean, I was thankful that he got it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, whenever you have somebody that shows love and really messes with what you're doing,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, I want you to get the best product. And I want you to get the deal. So, Andrew, shout out to you, man. You got to come by the new spot, dude, for real. Got to have him pass through, man. He's bought a ton of shoes from me, a ton of vintage from me.
Okay.
Some really quality pieces too, man. And just a good dude,
Yeah.
you know,
You got to take care of them.
for sure.
What are we talking about today? We talking about nothing today? It's just a
Everything.
day of nothing, or it's a day of everything?
Man,
It's
I
hard
feel
to
like I
talk
was
right
talking
now.
too much.
Yeah, it's I got a lot on my mind, man. The world's ending. Like
Hey,
it freaking
we
the
could talk
sky's
about that.
falling. Everything's happening right now. It's too
Yeah.
much to even like keep tabs on. I'm just trying to keep my head down low. Like all time low said, I'm trying to keep my hopes up high and my head down low right now. That's where I'm trying to live.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. What you want to get into the doom and gloom and the world ending, and you want to get in that bag?
Man,
We
I
deep
mean,
enough to we deep enough to hide.
are we look, this is one of the few I was texting one of my buddies today because I was watching the news and I actually don't watch a lot of news. I like to know what's going on and I try to keep on top of like current events that are pertinent. You know what I'm saying? But like with this Israel Iran thing, that's pretty significant. And I mean, Trump left the G7 summit a day early to go into the Situation Room to discuss with his top personnel what they're going to do. That's serious. Like, you don't just leave the G7 summit to go into the Situation Room if it's like lighthearted affair. Like, major decisions are being made in that situation. So you look at that and I'm just like, man, Trump always said that he had an America first isolationist approach to world events. So an isolationist approach is like, I'm not trying to be the world police.
Yeah.
If you are fighting amongst yourselves over there, then y'all do it. Just make sure that you don't like hit a U.S. asset and involve us type of deal. And what's kind of tricky, man, is it seems like Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to drag Trump and the U.S. into it. And look, I know that the U.S. and Israel have a shared goal of not allowing Iran to develop nuclear weapons. You know, they're saying that that is the main objective of this whole thing. If you ask other people, there's other opinions. But I know that Trump has always been against Iran being able to have enriched uranium to make nuclear weapons. Obviously, Israel doesn't want it because they're almost neighbors. So I'm just hoping that, I mean, they deployed another aircraft carrier. Okay. They deployed another aircraft carrier. So
Let you
that
cook this.
that is concerning. And then you have all the end time biblical prophecies that when you look at it, you're like, wait a minute, am I watching this unfold right now? You know? So
Scary times.
I'm just hoping that America does not get overly involved in this. I'm looking at Russia because they're a loose ally of Iran. And then I'm looking at China because they have the Silk Road Initiative. So they have a trade route that they're trying to establish from China going all the way through the Middle East into Europe. And it passes through Iran. So this is the thing. Israel's attacking Iran. They have a preemptive defense strategy. So their strategy is like, instead of an isolationist approach where it's like, hey, look, don't start no stuff, there won't be no stuff. They have the philosophy of, if one of our neighboring countries starts getting into a position that is going to be too overwhelming if we allow them to get there, we're going to nip it in the bud. That's essentially what they're doing with Iran. Like, before you get to a place to where you can really threaten us with nuclear weapons, we're going to nip that in the bud. It's preemptive. But you have Russia, that's an ally to them. And then you have China that wants their Silk Road Initiative to pass through Iran. So I'm looking at that because it's like, wait a minute, man. You know, does this escalate and start involving those countries as well? Because if that happens, then it's, you know, the Lord's coming back at that point. You know, what we got here, man?
You getting into the bag, so I had to figure out how we're gonna connect this to the swag era.
Okay, yeah.
What a better way than Red Foo riding a custom JDAM missile. Well, technically,
Dude.
it's not a JDAM missile. JDAM is a kit that they put on a missile to turn a dumb bomb into a smart bomb.
Yeah.
It's guidance and little fins and stuff like that.
That is a crazy photo op right there, man.
This is I think this is somewhere in Turkey, something like that. 2011. Yep, there you go. JDAM.
Wow.
Not the air base. It's my boy.
Turkey, man. Hey.
Turkey bacon.
That's
Party rock on it.
That's the ancient world, man. I don't say that in a disparaging way. Like, Turkey is
that Gucci
you know,
slides?
Yeah.
Gucci slides
Wow.
with the party rock. JDAM. So it's like it's a kit they strap on to a lot of these munitions. And basically these are fins and things like that that can start steering the bombs because they had so many different of these bombs made over the years. And they were essentially dumb bombs before. And then you can drop them with the JDAM system, strap it on there, and it can be guided and things like that. I forget what
Mhm.
JDAM stands for, but it's one of those things. But um, yeah, it's my boy Red Foo, who's a professional tennis player now. But
Yeah, man.
yeah,
He's actually a good tennis player.
we gotta put him up against, I don't know who's better, him or Agassi.
Oh, I mean, man,
Just kidding.
dude. Uh, well, I almost want to say I don't know how old this gentleman is, but I almost want to say that Agassi now could take him. And Agassi's not an old man, but he's an older man in regards to like tennis years. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
for sure.
But Agassi is like the ambassador of pickleball now, man.
Hey,
Yeah, so
those
like
who can't play tennis.
he's really promoting pickleball, which I've never played. Have you played?
When I was in middle school a long time ago, and it was fun. So like I get it. It's one of those like easy to approach games that like
Mm.
can get pretty like intense. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like kind of like, I don't want to say like table tennis, but it's kind of like that.
table tennis is hard, man.
Yeah, but it's like anybody could pick it up and
Yeah,
play it, but like to get good at it, it takes a long time type deal, or like you got to be athletic, you know. But
and I have PTSD behind table tennis.
hey, what was it Balls of Fury or whatever that movie that was made about it?
Funny, man. Will Ferrell
There you go.
and Christopher Walken.
Oh,
Yeah, wasn't he the antagonist?
th-
Huh?
the only thing I remember was somebody kicking the table, so like the ball could land in bounds, and it was kind of one of those like Shaolin soccer crazy
Yeah.
type movies. But yeah, sorry to get you out your bag. Sorry about that.
Oh no, no, man.
I wanted to have something fun on
Balls
there.
of Fury is funny.
Yeah.
And then he did the Will Ferrell did the skating movie with the dude who played Napoleon
You
Dynamite.
talking about
What is that?
man, Blades of Glory.
Blades of
You talking about
Glory.
Blades of Glory now?
That sounds like an 80s movie, man.
Oh, and then what's the like? There's one where it's like the Eurovision movie or whatever. That's another crazy one. But
He did the basketball one.
which one's that one?
Will Ferrell did the basketball one where it was dude, what
Talking
is
about Joanna Man?
he has like a trilogy of sports comedy
Talladega
movies.
Nights.
Oh well, that's Ricky Bobby, dude.
Yeah,
That's super goated.
yeah. That's like the birth of all like those style of comedies
Yeah.
to me. What else he had?
He had the basketball one, Balls of Fury, Blades of Glory, Talladega. I forgot what the basketball one was called.
Let me see. Will
It
Ferrell
was like
basketball.
it was like a minor league basketball league or something. I can't remember. Not to be
Basketball one.
confused with basketball.
Hey, that's a
South Park creators.
that's
Yeah.
a legendary movie. That and what am I thinking of?
Is that Matt Stone and Trey Parker?
Benchwarmers.
Is that the names of the creators of South Park?
I wouldn't know.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker?
Semi pro.
Semi pro.
Yeah, that's the. Hold on, we gotta throw it up there.
Hold on.
Look at this.
Yes, dude. Hey, he had a run, man. For real.
What is it? Basketball creators or South Park?
Yeah. You probably type it better than me. Faster.
What's them?
What are the names?
Blah 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 blah. News.
Going to the news.
What's their name? Here's one. Blah 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 blah. Oh, Kendrick Lamar with South Park creators delayed. There you go. What is their name?
Man, maybe
Oh.
hit the wiki
Hmm.
or the web
I'm just scared of what comes up.
for sure. Oh, there you go. Look, hit the Trey Parker.
Matt
Let's go.
Stone. Hey, you was on
Come
that.
on, man.
Hey, what a Pride Month way to, you know what I'm saying? Like we circle in full circle. They go. I think they go that way.
What I appreciate about South Park is they're equal opportunity offenders.
Everybody could get it.
Everybody gets it. And look, comedy should be like that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
gingers do have soul.
Dude,
Gingers
I
do have
remember
souls.
I remember during like
I gotta take these
peak
off.
peak woke era.
What a time.
It's a terrible time.
What a
Whenever
beautiful time.
no.
It depends on where you were.
Dude, they were trying to like discontinue real comedy, man. And I'm not saying that comedy has to be offensive to be good, but like, man, Comedy should be free to express itself.
All I'm gonna say was I had a ball in the woke era.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Hey.
It was an easy time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Man. I kind of want to know now. That's piqued my interest.
That's an off-air topic.
For sure.
That's behind the scenes.
Okay. That's Patreon.
That's
Or
Patreon.
theheatacademy.vip.
Tell them about the
Hey, man.
heatacademy.vip.
Well, it's coming soon.
Coming soon. You'll have to
Balls.
find out.
Yeah.
No, resume.
Yeah. So the heatacademy.vip, we got something up our sleeves, man.
Cooking.
And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be
Cooking.
worth your wild for sure. Yeah. Because most VIP membership stuff is beneficial to the business, you know? And I really think that we have something that will really, really be beneficial to the people that support us. Like it'll be legitimately mutually beneficial, almost to the point to where it'd be more beneficial for the member than the actual entity. But it'll just be a really good way to give back, like legitimately.
Yeah.
Because you have, like, I was talking to a buddy of mine. He joined up for a membership with a particular business. And it's like, hey, you can earn these points.
Yeah.
But you can't use it for this, that. You can basically use it for the stuff that we want to get rid of.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not cool, you know? I think, yeah. So I'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that. There's
Leave
more
it
to
at that.
come.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we did it.
Okay.
I feel like we did it. I feel like we did it okay. We did it well. We don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. We'll see what the response is and the end product.
Yeah.
And we didn't have anything planned, so it was really kind of off the cuff, but I think it went well. And
honestly, we were exhausted. We were tired.
Yeah.
We
I
had
stayed
late
up
nights.
way too late.
He had late nights he was getting the hustle and bustle on.
For sure.
I was trying to get this thing set up, making it look better, looking nice, and long day at work in the office. And
we were here late, man, but we were cooking. We were simultaneously cooking. And what's cool about the setup is like you could do your thing in here, I could do my thing in there.
Yeah.
And like be double productive.
Double productive. If you watched this far, thank y'all.
Thank
the
you.
Comment, hit the like, comment, double productive.
For sure. And I hope you're double productive as well.
That's enough said.
Awesome, man. I think it went well.
Yeah, I think so.